masters of speed. This is Formula One.
Hello there, welcome back to another setup video. We're at the land of the rising sun, Japan, Suzuka. In my opinion, an old-fashioned racing circuit that I really love racing around. So yeah, should we go and get into this? 3 laps, show you what the setup is like, show you how the F2 car behaves around Japan, and just try and do our very best. So, 5 red lights. First phase seems to be really good at the start, and then the second phase then really difficult. This is set up for 105 AI, and you'll see the front car of Miata absolutely take off. The AI around Japan, very much like Bahrain, are absolutely rapid. But that's okay. Like I said, it's not about the racing result. It's about showing you how the setup behaves, how the car actually behaves. And yeah, just generally having a good time. Obviously, I do these setups. I spend quite a bit of time on them. And I don't claim to be the quickest, the best, the fastest racer. I don't claim to be any of that. What I do is share my knowledge with you guys to make your lives a little bit easier, as I made a massive mistake at that hairpin. It's quite a tricky corner to get right, as the car really wants to understeer out wide. So the only circuit that I've come across out of the 4 that understeer seems to be a real big problem. It's all good though. You just need to be mindful that F2 cars have a lot less downforce than F4 cars, as I made a huge mistake which allowed O'Sullivan to get in, but it's okay, we'll try and get him back as he brake checks me and takes my front wing.
Okay, you have some front wing damage, but not enough to justify a stop in the remaining laps.
It's gonna compromise us a little bit, especially through sector 1. But yeah, that's the thing as well. The AI doesn't seem as polished as F1. I seem to have a lot more problems with the AI, and like I run these races for the full like a 50% feature race every time I test out the setup, and every race I seem to have issues with the AI just being stupid. Whether it's a brake check, like completely slamming on the brakes like O'Sullivan just did, or Bortoletto at Jeddah. Very weird how they behave. Obviously, wing damage around here is going to be race ending, but obviously I'm only showing you what the setup can do, so it's no drama really. But if you was in a league race, I would highly recommend you boxing to get that front wing changed. It's my own fault. I caused my own error on the exit. So obviously if you don't create mistakes of your own, you should be absolutely fine. These guys are going to swamp me, but as long as we stay ahead into turn 1, we'll be absolutely fine. And maybe on the next setup, the AI won't do anything daft. Although I should have been more aware, because it's not the first time I've raced around Japan in an F2 car and the AI have done something extremely wacky. So yeah, that's on me. I should have been more aware. But as always, the setup will be at the end of the video. I really hope it helps. If you do that good stuff, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It'll be really, really appreciated. More setups will be coming. I'm still yet to finish the F1 wet setups, and as soon as I've done the dry setups for F2, I will be continuing with the wet setups as well for F2. As long as I can stay ahead. I've got the inside of the 130R, so should be fine. The reason why it's called the 130R is because it's a 130 degree right angle, which is madness. And that's it. 3 laps. Setup's coming next. Hope it helps. As always, this is what I've gone with for the setup for Japan. Hope it helps. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. There's going to be a lot more setups coming up. And if you need any other assistance, tips, tricks, yeah, just ping me and we'll go through it. But, so, for the front wing, we've gone with 35. On the rear wing, we've gone with 28. The car feels really, really good, especially through Sector 1. The car feels really balanced. However, it does feel a little bit skittish, especially on entry to the hairpin. And then the last chicane after the 130R. So, if you need a little bit more stability, by all means, increase the aero. That is the way to go. If you need more, add more. If you need less, take less away. But remember, the more aero you add, the less straight line speed you are going to get. But remember, the AI are incredibly difficult around tracks like Bahrain, Japan, Spain. It is not specifically you, it is the game and how they make their AI. One thing I have noticed is that the F2 AI, even when you race on lower levels like this, I can prove it to you. This is set at 105 AI, but the AI feels more like 110 around Japan, Bahrain especially. But for the front wings, I've gone with 35. For the rear wing, I've gone with 28. On the transmission then, and I've gone with a 50 on diff, and I've gone with a 65 off diff. If you need less, take less. If you need more, add more. Wouldn't recommend going any higher than 60%. That's just a personal preference, and been doing setups a while to know that any higher, and yeah, it just doesn't feel right on this car for this circuit. Doesn't necessarily mean that the rules won't change for other circuits. And I've gone with a diff off of 65. You can go higher if you like, you can go lower if you like. Wouldn't recommend going any higher than 75, but for the sake of this setup, I've gone with 50, 65. Suspension geometry, shock, it's left, 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 left. On the suspension, and I've gone with a front suspension of 41. I've gone with a rear suspension of 16. If you need the rear a lot stiffer, take it down. If you need more, add more. Wouldn't recommend going any higher than 20 because it just simply doesn't seem to work. The car feels even more skittish than it usually does. Onto the front anti-roll bar, I've gone with a roll bar of 18, but again, this applies to the driver specific. You could get away with running 21 if you wanted, but I have chosen 18.9 because that's what makes the car feel better for me. It makes the car feel a little bit more nimble, and usually I'd like a more stable rear end. However, Japan, you need quite a lot of body roll really, because there are so many sharp corners. Suzuka is an old style proper racing circuit in my opinion, and yeah, you just need all the help that you can get, especially with the AI being so strong. I've gone with a front ride height of 20. There are one or two curbs that you need to be aware of and stay away from them, especially at the spoon corner and Degna 1 and Degna 2. You need to be mindful of those. And I've gone with a rear ride height of 57. You could drop it down to 55. But there is a curb at the end of sector 1 which leads to the downhill right-hander. You need to ride that curb to gain any lap time. So it's best to stay with a rear ride height which is quite high. And then onto the brakes. I found that the brake pressure of 99% works. I changed this during the race between 55, 56 and 57. Those are the 3 that I use for various different corners. There are, like I said, into the hairpin is a heavy braking zone. Into the chicane is a heavy braking zone. So I'll drop that to 57. Into the spoon corner, I drop that to 56. You're constantly changing with the brake bias because these F2 cars are extremely weird. They lock the rears quite easily, considering the F1 counterparts. So yeah, that is the brakes, and then onto the tyres, and then it's max pressures. This has been Japan. I really hope it helps you guys. Would love to hear from you. Do that good stuff. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, have a good day. Peace.